Hello, I'm Ben Brady, the 3D Printing Texan. It's been a while since I posted a video, but today I wanted to show you how I use SVG files in DesignSpark Mechanical. So first, we have to create the SVG file that we want to use. So I'm going to use a product called Inkscape, and we're just going to open that up on the desktop. And then we've got a new document here. And so let's go ahead and import a drawing or a silhouette drawing of something that I want to use in DesignSpark Mechanical. So first, we're going to open, let's see if we can move that down. We can open and import a drawing. So here we have a JPEG of a particular, I have a friend that likes Warhammer 40K, so he likes the Tyranid, so we're going to use the Tyranid logo. So we're going to go ahead and import that into Inkscape, into a document. Now, in order to create the SVG, we want to trace this bitmap. So we're just going to right-click on it, say Trace Bitmap, and that's going to open the Trace tool over here on the right-hand side. And we want the detection mode to be brightness cutoff, and we're just going to go ahead and apply that. And what it's going to do is it's going to paste that traced bitmap on top of the bitmap that we loaded. So we're going to move that up here a little bit, and then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to delete the bitmap like so. And now we can move that selection over here to where we want it. And now we can save this out as an SVG file. So we're just going to call it drawing 1 because I already have drawing up here. And we're going to save that. And then we can close Inkscape. So now we have our SVG file. Now we're going to open up another tool that I used to use all the time before I found DesignSpark Mechanical, called 123D Design. It was originally put out by Autodesk, but it's now discontinued. So we're going to open that up. And we're going to tell it we want to start a new project. And then we're going to go up here to the menu and say import an SVG file as a sketch. So we're going to go ahead and select our drawing 1 file and open that up and tell it it came from Inkscape, and click OK. And now we have an SVG file that is silhouetted on the workspace. So we want to just highlight that, and then we're going to go down here to the tools, and we're just going to extrude that up a little bit. So we're going to sell it. We just want one layer. We don't need a whole lot. So we're going to say 0.2 millimeters. And there you can see it has extruded it just very slightly. And now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to save this out as a step file. So we're going to say export as 3D to a step file. We do not want an STL file. We could use it in DesignSpark, but the problem is if you import an STL file into DesignSpark and then you decide you want to convert that to solid, it creates all kinds of geometry that takes DesignSpark a very long time to process. But if you convert it to a step file, it works just fine. It's very quick. So we're going to go ahead and convert it to a step file, and we're going to say select the step file, and we're going to call this drawing 1. And we had had caps lock on the file name, so we might as well just go ahead and capitalize the D, since the caps lock key is always in the way. So we're going to save that, and now we can go ahead and we can close 123D design. So we're going to close that. We don't need to save it. You can save it if you'd like. And then next we're going to open up DesignSpark Mechanical. So we're going to go up here to DesignSpark, open that up. This will take a few seconds to open. It has to communicate out to the internet to make sure that we have a valid license. Now I'm using the creator subscription, but this should work just fine with the free DesignSpark Mechanical product because we don't need to edit the step file. All we need to do is use it in the drawing. So we're going to go ahead and close that window. We're going to go up here to File, New Design, and let's give it a name. Tyrannid. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to import the step file. So we're going to go down here, choose step. We got drawing 1. Open that, and it's going to pull that step file into DesignSpark Mechanical. So now we have the Tyrannid file there. And if you have a creator or higher subscription, we could modify this step file right in DesignSpark. And we could make it thicker, we could change any of the geometry, but we don't need to do that right now. We just want to be able to use that file to emboss or deboss that drawing into our DesignSpark design. So we're going to turn that off for a moment so that we don't see it, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into sketch mode, and then we're going to select the plan view. Let's see, let's turn this on here for a second. So we're going to go ahead and go into the sketch mode, go into plan view. Now we can turn off the step file. And we're just going to go ahead and make a rectangle. And we want to tell it to define it from the center. But so now we want to go 50 by 50. And then we can finalize that sketch. Now we're in design mode, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull that. So let's say we're going to make it 2 millimeters thick. We don't need to make it very thick. So now we can turn the drawing back on, and right now the drawing is underneath the rectangle that we just made. So we can go ahead and we can move that. We can go up here to move, and we can just pull it up to where we can see it and use it. So now we want to take this drawing and we want to project it onto the face of the rectangle that we just made. So we're going to say project, and you can see it has projected onto the surface. We'll go ahead and accept that projection, and now we can turn off the drawing, and now we can just select that, and then we can pull it or push it. So let's go ahead and push it. So we're going to say -1 millimeter. And so now you can see you have a 1 millimeter deboss into the rectangle that we created. in DesignSpark. And so, let's just for the heck of it, let's go ahead and go back to plan mode and go back to the drawing mode, and we're going to go ahead and let's create a hole. So we'll say 3 millimeters, and we're going ahead and we're going to cut this. So we'll tip it back a little bit, and we're just going to go ahead and make a hole. And now we have a hole for a key ring to go into. And at this point, we can save the file. We actually don't even need to save the drawing in the file anymore. We can go ahead and delete that. And so now we have our Tyranid keychain. And now we can go ahead and save it out. And then we can export our STL so that we can send it to our 3D printer. So we're going to have Tyranid. And do we want to replace it? No, we're going to go ahead and rename it to Tyranid keychain. And then we can save it. And then we can close DesignSpark. And that is the end of the tutorial. Now you can use this method for doing all kinds of drawings. I've tried it with all kinds of different SVG drawings, and as long as you load it into 123D Design and save it out as a step file, then you're good to go. DesignSpark, if you convert an STL file like that drawing into an STL file, and then you tell DesignSpark to make that STL file a solid, then it creates a bunch of geometry using the triangles in the SVG file, and it takes a very long time for DesignSpark to really process anything. I've seen it take as long as 2 hours on my laptop here, which is a Intel i5 laptop. So the best thing to do is just use a step file, and then DesignSpark will handle it just fine. That's all for today. This is the 3D Printing Texan signing out. Have a good day.